The music pounded through the speakers, lights flashing across the crowded dance floor, while laughter rippled through the room. I stood at the bar, a glass in my hand, scanning the sea of people until my gaze landed on her, my wife, Emma. But instead of smiling back at me, she was nestled in another man's arms, swaying slowly as though the world around them had disappeared. My chest tightened. The sight hit me like the floor had dropped beneath my feet. It wasn't just a dance. She was lost in him, her head resting gently on his shoulder, her lips carrying a faint smile I hadn't seen in weeks. Anger surged through me first. My grip on the glass grew so tight, I thought it might shatter. Yet behind the rage, something deeper cut through me. Hurt. Betrayal. We had walked into this party side by side, but now I was standing alone while she chose someone else in full view of our friends. My mind spun. Was this a reckless mistake or something that had been happening behind my back for longer than I realized? Whatever the truth was, she had made herself clear. I couldn't just stand there and watch her unravel everything we had built. Setting my drink down, I turned toward the exit. Each step felt heavier than the last, but I refused to create a scene. If Emma wanted to embarrass me in front of everyone, I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of seeing me beg or explode in anger. My silence would say more than words ever could. I slipped into my jacket, pushed the door open, and stepped into the crisp night air. To me, this was the end. The quiet street outside stood in sharp contrast to the chaos inside. I walked slowly, trying to steady myself, my breath visible in the cold. Memories flooded my head, the years together, the promises whispered at midnight, the shared dreams we had nurtured. How had we reached this point? Had I missed the signs? Maybe I had grown too comfortable, convinced that love alone would carry us through. Tonight was proof it wasn't enough. By the time I reached my car, my body felt drained. Leaning against the door, I stared at the ground. My phone buzzed in my pocket, but I let it ring. I didn't need excuses. I didn't need lies. I had witnessed the truth with my own eyes, and that was all I needed. I pulled out my keys, ready to drive away from it all, when the sound of hurried footsteps echoed behind me. "Wait!" Her voice, shaken, breathless. I looked up, and there she was, Emma, running toward me, her heels clattering against the pavement, her hair tousled from the dance floor. She caught my arm, her face pale, her eyes wide with desperation. "Please don't leave. It's not what you think." Her words hung in the cold night air, but I stayed silent, my jaw clenched. The image of her in another man's arms wouldn't fade. She stumbled through her explanation, words spilling out. "He's just an old friend, that's all." I wasn't thinking. I only wanted to dance. I didn't realize how it looked. Her fingers wrapped tightly around my hand, as though she was terrified I might slip away. Her eyes glistened with tears. "I started searching for you the second I noticed you were gone. Please don't let this destroy us." I turned toward her fully, my chest rising and falling with deep breaths. "You humiliated me, Emma," I said, my voice low and sharp, in front of everyone. "Do you have any idea what it felt like? Watching my wife in another man's arms." She shook her head frantically, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. It was just a dance. You're the one I love, I swear. Please don't walk away from me." Her words chipped away at the walls I had thrown up over the past hour. I searched her face, desperate to know if she was lying or telling the truth. What I found was fear, not of him, not of the crowd inside, but of losing me. The fury inside me didn't vanish, but it shifted into something else. Sadness, disappointment, and yes, maybe still love. I didn't give her an answer. I didn't forgive, but I allowed her to hold my hand. For now, that seemed enough for her. We didn't return to the party. Instead, we drove home in silence, her hand resting firmly on mine as though she feared I would disappear as she let go. The road ahead was uncertain. Trust would need to be rebuilt. Wounds would take time to heal. But as I sat beside her, one truth settled over me. Sometimes betrayal doesn't shatter a marriage in a single moment. Sometimes it ignites the fire that forces you to confront everything you've been ignoring, whether we survive this or not. Only time would tell. But one thing was clear. Emma would never forget the night she came within a breath of losing me.